good morning, everybody. Huge welcome on a Monday morning here. Just welcoming everybody in, and so pleased and delighted you're joining us for another CPD Standards webinar. For those of you that haven't met me before, my name is Amanda Rosewarne, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of the CPD Standards Office. And we're just delighted to welcome you all this morning. I know that Monday morning is a big jump and startup for the week, and we're absolutely delighted today to be talking to you about creating more PR, more visibility, better positioning, thinking about your branding, and just essentially getting your message out there and making you more visible as a training provider. We are going to use the chat to, first of all, welcome everybody and say hello. Secondly, please use the chat for your observations, your questions, any thoughts that you're having or light bulb moments. We have my colleague Naveen and Nina on the call. So if you have any particular questions about your membership, about your assessments, or anything particular around being part of the community and working with the team, please message them directly. So as I've said, this is a morning for us to spend together. As trainers and coaches and online educators, it's a chance for you to do some CPD and for you to think about your professional development in different ways and shapes and forms. So I'm going to hand over now to Amanda, our wonderful speaker that's joining us today. And over to you, Amanda, with your phenomenal experience and advice to talk to us about these really key areas at the moment.
Oh, thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and thank you everybody for joining on a Monday morning. I really hope to inspire you to get yourselves more visible. It is possible. So I'm just going to get kick-started. So thank you very much everybody for joining. I'm going to be unveiling, I don't know how many people have actually got press coverage before, but some brand new concepts that will really help you supercharge your visibility. I'd love it if people in the chat could put what you do, whether you're a coach, what's your industry that you work in, then I might be able to do something relevant during the course of our, the training session today. So who is this for? It's really for you, which I know all of you are, the CPD experts, is anybody who makes a living from your expertise, knowledge or wisdom. So what is your knowledge and wisdom? Please put it into the chat box. And if you're really in growth phase and well established and ready to skyrocket your visibility, this is perfect for you. And I help a lot of people who make unique breakthroughs and transformations for their clients. So it's really great to be able to support you to be able to get much more visibility for yours. So qualified coach and neuroscience, advanced coach, brilliant. So keep on telling me what you do. Leadership and confidence coach, training for finance, business partners, brilliant. It's so good seeing what you all do. But you might have thought this in the past, and this may be why you have signed up to listen to this teaching. Do you, just let me know, just say yes or no in the chat box, do you see other businesses mentioned in the press and you think, excuse me, why not me? I am the real expert, or they've missed the point and they didn't say this. Do any of you get frustrated with that? Psychologists from Ireland, thank you very much. Keep on telling me what you're doing. And also, do you feel that you need to improve your sales and grow your client base? That might be another reason why you're here. Or do you feel that you are competing all the time with all of that social media noise, putting all your stuff out onto social media, and yet you're still the best kept secret? Let me know if any of these are relevant or resonating with you. And sometimes do you feel, oh my goodness, my marketing isn't working and all I have to rely on is, word of mouth marketing, aka referrals. Sometimes you might be thinking, oh my God, it's so busy out there. I need to hand over the baton to my competition as they seem to shout louder. Don't worry about all of that. I'm going to help you today. But the bottom line is you might be feeling a bit stuck that no one's paying attention, and you or your personal brand deserves a lot more recognition. So you market on social media, no sales. Okay. So listen, this is going to hopefully help you. Hilda runs communication skills workshops for businesses. Great. Well, thank you. Now, you might remember this, a blank screen. We all go from this, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, the whole works is all flashing up, up on our screens all the time. That is how people tend to aim to get their business. We've had 2 major outages that I can remember. I'm sure you can tell me about many more. I heard about another one just the other day. But just before the weekend, there's a massive outage, all these, everything goes down, you can't work. And I remember an outage back in March. I was sending a message to a friend on WhatsApp and I was going, why can't I post on Instagram? It's not letting me. And she goes, there's been a major outage. So this is really important. And also you might hear this. Actually, has this been you, or have you got any friends who this has happened to? I've been kicked out of LinkedIn. Oh my God, my Instagram account has been hacked, or I can no longer access Facebook. I've had, quite a few clients who've said that, and it's like, oh my God, this is such bad news. So I'm here to say you need a visibility solution beyond all of the social media outreach that you're doing, okay? So the norm, I've done a bit of research and found out that the norm of what everybody's doing is either doing paid ads or daily posts, and you're reaching the marketplace, the audience within your followership. And I think, isn't it, what's the statistic? Is it 10% you reach or 1% of that audience you have? And that's you trying to get visible within 2.5 hours a day that you spend on your TikToks, your Instagrams and LinkedIn, etc. But I want to say this. Enter stage right, and that is PR, okay? So I'm here today to say, don't put all your visibility eggs into the social media basket. Breaking news, I'll be showing you about my 7-minute method a bit later on. You can get visible and reach so many more people by doing a 7-minute PR method. Actually, I'd love to know how many hours or minutes a day, if you put it into the chat, are you spending on your social media? Like whether you're on LinkedIn, doing all that kind of stuff, Instagram, be great for you to share that with me. So first off, what is PR? People get confused that PR is advertising. So PR stands for public relations. Advertising, you have to pay for it, or an advertorial, you have to pay for it, because it's a mixture between an advert and editorial. The great news is that PR is totally free. You do not need to pay for that, okay? I'm going to show you. And also another massive news flash, okay? Who thought that PR, publicity, was for the rich and famous? I have clients saying that to me all the time, saying, oh, it's not for me, it's for people who, Brené Brown and, all these famous people. It's actually for you, me, and everybody, okay? And Amanda Rosewarne, because you're a client and you got masses of coverage while we were working together. So some examples of PR. You can have magazine features. This is the traditional thing. Magazine features online or offline. Thought leadership articles. So I'm sure all of you could come up with fantastic pieces that you could write for, let's say, Forbes, or opinion pieces, all about your area of expertise. It could also be expert commentary, whether that's on the radio, TV, or the newspapers. Journalists are always looking for people like you to make commentary or to offer your thoughts. Or profile pieces. So there could be a really interesting piece written about you and why you're running the business. That could also tie in if you've won an award. That's also kind of like a profile piece of sorts. Or you might have some breaking news within your industry, within your business, and you can share that both locally and nationally. Okay, or event sponsorship. So I'm sponsoring some awards this year, so that's my bit of doing PR for myself. And also podcasts. Do not forget the importance of podcasts, or speaking on stage. So I liken PR to reaching people in an audience which is way beyond your social media reach. It's, standing in front of people who aren't your own traditional audience. Okay, hope that's clear. So you might have heard TED or TEDx. They say it's an idea worth spreading. And this is a lovely client of mine who gave a TED talk very recently. We helped her, Jaylyn Boyce, on the TEDx stage, get her the gig, and she's really thrilled with that. Such an iconic picture. So here at AFPR, Amanda Fitzgerald PR, I say this. PR is all about a message worth sharing. So all of you will have really interesting insights that you can share. So this was Nikki. I was helping her this year. Sorry, excuse the aeroplane passing by. It was a mass International Women's Day swim in Brighton. There were 500 of us, mad, crazy things dipping into the sea. And the message was, it was all about International Women's Day and all about supporting females and empowering us females, okay? So that was the message worth sharing. It was such a brilliant day. So we managed to get lots of TV coverage. So I also say this, PR stands for yes. your expertise skyrockets. So just remember that. Just a little bit about me. I am a multi-award winning PR expert. I've been doing this now literally for 10 years. I've been running a business for many more than that. I am also known as the ultimate door opener, as I help people open doors to places they've always ever dreamt of getting into. More recently, I've been known as Captain PR. I've got a captain's hat. You might have seen me around social media with my hat on. So I am known as Captain PR. But also my golden nugget, the thing which makes me stand out from the crowd, let's say, of all the other PR trainers, is that I'm a wild swimmer, and that has got me into some very cold water. I've managed to get some press coverage as a result of my wild swimming. So just remember, whatever you're talking about within your work, you might have some really interesting backstory pieces which you can be mentioned in the press about that. And when you are mentioned in the press, it'll go, Amanda Fitzgerald, PR expert, has just done a wild swim, blah, blah, blah. So that is why it's also interesting to pitch to the press, not only about your areas of expertise, about your backstory can also help. So a bit of the backstory as to why I'm helping you get your coverage, and that is my mum ran a business, a very successful mail order company back in the 80s and 90s, and there she is. When I was 15 years old, coming in to greet her with my, my rucksack on from school and smiling away at me. And yeah, she was running a really successful business, but she got masses of press coverage, and she employed a fantastic PR agent who was based on the King's Road. So I used to offer to go and help the PR agent. So PR has kind of been in my blood, I would say, for about 30 odd years. I set up my own e-commerce store when I wanted to work from home after having had my first child. Unfortunately, it was pre-lockdown. Nobody knew anything about working from home. So they said, no, you can't. They didn't want to do 2 days a week and 3 days a week in the office. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to follow in my mum's footsteps, and I'm going to set up an e-commerce store selling knitwear imported from Peru, which is my ex-husband's country. So I set about selling all of this knitwear, and it was literally a forever trunk sale, trying to reach people. So whenever I would travel anywhere, I'd have a load of knitwear in the back and I would sell it. So that was at my family gathering, and I managed to sell all these cardigans. So it was a really great, exciting adventure. But that was kind of reaching a small market. I would also do pop-up shops. Okay, I did in the end about 125 pop-up shops, but one day this gazebo was terrible. It suddenly blew away in the wind. So I've said, storm barrel, anybody? Yeah, so that was very challenging trying to do all of that. So I had a light bulb moment, and also I think it was more like my mum kicking my ass and going, Amanda, why don't you remember PR, how important it is for your business? So I set about training myself, teaching myself how to get the coverage, and I reached so many more clients. I managed to get in all of these publications all by myself. I managed to crack the PR code, and I didn't have any more fly away gazebo moments, which was brilliant. So now I want to show you the 7-step process on getting into the press. Okay. So number one, it's all about your vision, and it's all about your mindset. So I'd like you to think and put into the chat box, please, what are your PR goals? Would you like to get press coverage or podcasts? It's more like press coverage, whether you want to get them locally, nationally, or whether you want to be on TV and radio, or whether you want podcasts. So put into the chat box where you'd love to appear. And don't forget, it's great to get local press coverage, because then you can become a local star amongst your area. And also starting at local is a really great way to actually, to train yourself on doing the pitching before you hit the big boys. So Rebecca's saying podcasts and radio, both internationally and locally, national TV, radio, great. Fantastic. Podcasts, fantastic. Yeah, podcasts are the way to go. I mean, everybody's talking podcasts, so that's excellent. Okay, so I want you to decide upon your goals, where you want to go. So that's number one. So I was doing a swim. That was back in 2022. I've actually done them. I did one this year as well. I've been doing them now for 3 years, raising money for Afghanistan. So I sent this this pitch, Colchester mum, pretend it doesn't say you're 52. I don't have 52 children. Colchester mum, 52, to wild swim 4K for Afghanistan charity. I sent off that, and I managed to get myself into BBC Essex. So that was really great. And then I had some donations as a result of getting some local press coverage. I mean, could it be, or would it be, a national story? Perhaps not a national, but it was really good to get local coverage, because also the local radio shows and TV programs, they're all looking for local local interesting people, interesting human interest stories. So those of you who've said you want international, also don't forget the power of local. And another really important thing, local press coverage is very often picked up by the nationals. So don't forget about that when you're doing your pitching. So also, I want you to think about what is your big why. So a massive challenge or obstacle for people to pitch to the press is, oh my goodness, I don't have the confidence. So let's just quickly talk about that. So I'm going to say to you, stop hiding under a stone, because this is what I hear people saying. Oh, nobody wants to hear from me. Oh, I'm going to do it next year. I'm not ready quite yet. I say, go for it. Let's just go and get that press coverage. Newsflash, your work, and I've seen what you've been saying in the chat about what you do, is transformational, and your work needs to be shared far and wide. Do you agree with that? Just say yes if you agree that your work needs to be shared far and wide. Please let me know. Brilliant. I'm glad you're agreeing with me. Okay, and what you need to do is you need to make an impact, okay, on lives and businesses. You might have heard this expression, selling is serving. Well, I'm going to tell you this, showing is serving, and we need you. We need to hear from you and your incredible transformations. So basically, showing up is the new black. This is you, and this is your stage. How do you feel about that? Does that feel all right? Let me know. So here's your mindset shift. You're making an impact. Are you doing it because you want to put food on the table? Are you, running your business because you want to share your message? Are you wanting to help people? Are you wanting to leave a legacy? This is why you need to have that mindset shift and think, okay, I am going to start doing it. So think about who you serve. Think about the transformations that you have on the people's lives that you serve, and think about your mission. That is the mindset action shift. My goodness, I can't say it. I want you, okay, now from now onwards to choose imperfect action over perfect inaction. Is that resonating? So if you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've got a great story, or I've got a great idea, or I've got a great few, tips to share with XYZ magazine, cancel your pitch paralysis right now, today. I hope I'm going to convince you to do that. So that's all about the mindset. So hopefully you've got that squared off. Now what I want you to do is to think about your compelling backstory or your journey, all right? And this is why it's really important, because the press love to hear human interest elements, okay? All about what is your backstory, why should I be listening to you? So here's a client of mine who got a massive amount of press coverage. Her backstory is, she's called Emma Draper from Ireland. She's the straight talking dating coach. Now, think about the pressure that her mum put her under. When she was 13, her mum bought her wedding veil. So she's thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to get married and I'm 13, what the hell? And so she had a lot of pressure. She had a really amazing high-powered job into her 30s and 40s. And then she thought, oh my goodness, that blooming wedding veil. Oh my goodness, I need to get married. I need to meet my husband. So she went on to Tinder, found her husband, and and that's a great story, but she's also now got 2 Tinder babies. So it's, why are you doing what you are doing, and how does it lead you into your amazing expertise? But that's a bit of her backstory, which she shares with the press, and the press love that story about her mum, the wedding veil, and the fact that she met her hubby on Tinder, because it's all very, very relevant. So prepare your backstory, and then also think about your golden nugget. So my golden nugget, you might have seen at the beginning, is my my addiction to wild swimming. We've got this lovely lady, Adela May. So her golden nugget is the fact that she learnt to ride a motorbike aged 50. So she's already had 4 pieces of press coverage within 4 weeks of working with us, okay? And now she's had a massive spread in MCN, Motorcycling News. And it's all about her golden nugget. So this is nothing to do with her work. You might have a really interesting hobby, or you might do something life-changing for people, there'll be something. So can you put into your chat, if you can think about what your golden nugget is? It's probably what your family all know about you. And you'll probably think, oh, but everybody knows about it. It's not really interesting. I promise you, you'll have some really interesting things that you've done in your life that will be relevant to when you're pitching to the press. And so Adela has got into all these places, Happy Full, MCN, Metro, Women in Home, and all the rest of it. And it always, she always asks them to say, and please mention my job title. So when everybody is looking for her, but that is, that will come up. So it's really good for the SEO. Let's see, someone's got a small one, got a passion for bridges. Well, we would like to hear more about your passion for bridges, you know. Any bridge stories? That's great. So maybe you have traveled and gone to 1,000 bridges across your life. Fiona is a sailor. So, you know, people have, that shows resilience. All of your backstories will be really interesting and potentially relevant to what you're doing. And if they're very irrelevant to what you're doing, it can also help you get into the press. Okay. So then I want you to think about the preparation of finding your PR sweet spot and your press hook. Paris is saying you've done voluntary work all your life and you're currently with the Samaritans. Fantastic, Paris. And what do you do? What is your job, Paris? Skiing instructor for the Swiss ski school. You had an MS diagnosis, now you use aerial yoga as a way of proving impossible. Really, you're the possible. Wow. Okay, you see, all of these are really great things that you can include with the press. So thank you for sharing. I'm sorry if I haven't read them all out. Let's find your PR sweet spot. So let's have a look. So a press hook. Okay, that's like it's like quite a jargony term, a press hook. It is what makes your pitch to the press timely, newsworthy and relevant. Okay, this is really important. So it could be an awareness day. I'm going to give you some examples in a minute. It could be you reacting to some big news that's just broken, that's relevant within your industry, that you think, oh my goodness, I can comment on. What's trending on TikTok? Who's on TikTok? Apparently many more people of our age are, not just my children. It could be expert commentary, industry innovations, things which are suddenly happening within your industry that you can talk about. I know that Amanda from CPD Standards Office, my lovely host, you've got something which you've been sending to the press recently about an industry innovation. You might have written a book, or it might be a seasonal reason for you to be pitching to the press. So this client here, the lovely Anita Sweatman, she got into the press during her book launch and she managed to get herself 11 pieces of press coverage for her book. And she got masses. You want to go international, she got masses of international podcasts. So don't think you just literally need to be pitching, I'm in Colchester, to the Colchester Massive. I can go far and wide thanks to podcasts. So yeah, so that was a book launch. Then seasonal, we managed to get a client onto ITV the other day, and it was Kiddie Whiz, the lovely Zoe Chapman, who has invented this fantastic product, which is very relevant if you're going camping, going to a festival. And so they did a call-in, ITV did a call-in, we offered her product, and it was all about a camping feature, and this was featured on it, which was fantastic. So think about seasonality within what goes on within your business. And you've heard me talking to you about this. This is all about International Women's Day. So my pitch to the press was 500 wild swimmers celebrate International Women's Day, and we managed to get Southeast Today and online, BBC, and also some local press coverage, which was fantastic. It's all about female empowerment, which was really a really strong hook. And then another client got on to international, all about International Women's Day. So this is the press hook. She was on BBC London Radio talking about women in business in London. Okay, so just remember your local BBC stations as well. Now, this is a brilliant idea, a brilliant combination of product launch, a local story, and an awareness day. Did you know that there is international, I think it was actually National Crumpet Awareness Day? So this lady used to be a lawyer, a high-flying lawyer. She quits intense job to launch crumpet business in Buckinghamshire. She sold out that day. So it was a local story, it was an awareness day and a product launch. So that's like a perfect combo story. Another one about seasonal things happening or awareness days or just events. You've got Ascot, Wimbledon and the coronation, which happened a couple of years ago. Catherine Elizabeth, haute couture milliner. She managed to get masses of coverage on ITV. They actually came and filmed in her studio, which was wonderful. But that's to do with what is going on right now. So you might have had things relevant, mindset experts all talking about, you know, for Wimbledon, what is the mindset you need to get in when you want to become a winner at tennis, okay? So those are kinds of ideas that you could be thinking when you want to pitch to the press. And then your PR toolkit. I want you to start thinking about getting press ready. How many of you have got good quality photographs? So it's essential to get some really great professional photos because the press love it. And these days, when you send in a press pitch, it's brilliant if you put in your photograph. But these days, the press Don't always send around a photographer. It used to happen all the time back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, but budgets are being cut. So if you've already done the footwork for the publications, the outlets you want to get into by providing a very good professional headshot or including your product, I really recommend you do that. And then your email pitch. So when you're pitching to the press, can I just ask in the chat, how many people have actually pitched to the press? Just put pitch Y or pitch N or whatever, pitch yes or pitch no, then I know whether you've actually pitched to the press, because some of you might have pitched to the press and not heard a peep back. That does happen, so you need to be resilient, but you might have written a really, really long email. So I want you to remember the 200 rule, which means make sure your pitch is literally 200 words, no more. Journalists don't have time to be reading through a huge long blurbing email. So has anybody pitched to the press? Oh, 11 messages, I can't see that, sorry. Yes, okay. Pitch, it wasn't you. Metro. Oh, they came to you. Well, that is brilliant, Paris. Fantastic. Yes, no, yes. Okay, so we have. And have all the people who've said yes to pitching, have you got the coverage? That's what I'd love to know as well, with all those pitches. No, no. Okay, fine. So you've pitched but not got the coverage. It might have been that your email. Oh, well done, Fiona. International. Whoop, whoop. What was that? What publication? Where was that? I'd love to know. Yes, so let me know about your pitching, but just keep your pitch really short. And then a really important thing for you, I got that into the Herald, well done, wow. The US Herald, is that? Okay, local paper in Ireland, fantastic, well done. So remember your 200 rule. Now we're going to talk about your press kit. This is what journalists actually like. It's your very visual CV. This is part of our training templates if you were to work. Oh, Scottish Herald. Well, there you go, congratulations. Any heralds are great. Yeah, so you need to get yourself a press kit, which shows a picture of yourself and then a short bio and then some images and then your social media and then where you've worked. So and you can see here, look at that, CPD Standards Office. Yes, I've been here training before, but have one of these. It's great for the press to have, to see you at a glance. Okay. Then I've talked to you about, the press hooks, which makes part of your PR plan of action. Now, there are two ways to approaching the press. You've got the proactive approach, and I want you to plan which outlets you want to target, okay? So think about where you want to be seen. And then you've got the PR opportunities, which is reactive, okay? So I want you to set aside 7 minutes a day for your PR. But I'm going to go back to this slide here. The proactive approach. This is you. So I've talked to you about the press hooks, about, an awareness day or whatever, whatever which might be relevant for your business. Plan the outlets. Now you're thinking, oh dear, how do I plan the outlets? Think about what your, the consumers of your product or services, what do they read? Okay, what do they read for pleasure and leisure? Are they reading Psychologies magazine? Are they reading Red? Do they listen to BBC local radio? Think about that, for example, and then think about those press hooks, which I've told you about, awareness days. Is it a book launch? Are you reacting to what is going on and putting your head up above the parapet and saying, yes, I can be an expert to comment, okay? So that is for your PR plan of action on the proactive side. Reactive side is setting aside 7 minutes a day. And this really works, okay? I'll give you some examples. I want you to go to X and look for those journo call outs, okay? So what is involved in the 7-minute PR method? So every day, well, actually, first off, do you use X or Twitter? First off, that is where the journalists literally hang out, okay? Do I have a template for the press page? Yes, I do, Fiona. That is part of what my clients get hold of. So yes, if you became a client, I would be very delighted to share with you that template. So the 7-minute PR method, this is how it goes. Set aside a time each day. I don't know whether you set aside a time each day right now to do your social media. If you do your social media, like let's say at 11 o'clock, or whatever time, make sure it's a different time. So you're going to be literally focusing on your power 7, your PR 7. So put it for 10:30 or 1:15. I want you to block off all distractions, okay? Don't think of anything else apart from your PR, your power 7 minutes. Then if you go to Instagram, sorry, if you go to Twitter or X, I know some of you don't have it and you don't like it. I really recommend you just simply set up a set up an account, because it's a really great place to see where all these call outs are coming. And I've got a client, I'll show you her a bit later on. She only had 22 followers on Twitter, and she managed to get, I think, 30 pieces of press coverage. Okay, so don't worry if you've got a low follower count. It's just a great place for you to be utilizing this free tool. Okay, it's really great. So block off your distractions, search up your favorite journalists in your industry. Okay, so what you need to put in, go to the search bar and just put in journalist fashion, or journalist beauty, journalist tech. Or if you do consume the the newspapers or whatever, and you might have a favorite journalist like India Knight, let's say, you always read what she writes, search them up, and then DM them or comment or share what they have just posted, because very often journalists share their work, so more eyeballs get onto their onto their articles. And so if you share it, it's like, oh, that person's been really kind. So what you're going to be doing is starting to get onto their radar. And then you can comment and say, oh, I loved your piece about X, Y, and Z. It really resonated with me because da 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 da. So at that stage, what you're doing is you're just warming up the journalist that you'd like to eventually pitch to. Then after a week or so of getting onto their radar, you can send in a pitch. Okay. And that's what I recommend you do. And sending a pitch to them, you need to keep it very short and snappy. You might be able to find their email address in their bio, or if they're doing call outs. Now, a call out on X, you need to put in the hashtag journo request. If you do that also, when you're doing your, let's say on Monday, you're going to be doing your, I need to get to know a journalist. On Tuesday, I'm going to be doing hashtag journo request and seeking out what journalists are looking for. You'll go to journo request, hashtag journo request, and you'll see loads and loads and loads of things that people have been, journalists have been calling out. I need an expert to comment on. I tell you, so many journalists were looking for people to comment on the outage, which happened over the just before the weekend. It was crazy. Looking for tech experts, so if you're a tech expert, you could have been on the news 24/7. So look and see what they are doing. And my hint to you is, if you go to hashtag journo request, look, there are several tabs. Make sure you press on latest, and it'll show you the latest thing that has just been spat out from Twitter or X. And then send in a short pitch. You might want to pitch within their comments, but if they've got an email, send in your pitch via email. So that is the 7-minute PR method, but be consistent. Do it every single day and you will get the press coverage. And then the final one is PR snowball. So here we are, maximize your PR opportunities. This is great. So this is a client, the lovely Jo Loftus, who got herself onto Startups magazine, doing, the 5 steps on how to have success in your business, how to turn your goals into reality. This is great. She had a glass of champagne, was celebrating, and she shared it on LinkedIn. And so often I hear people going, oh my God, my LinkedIn has just blown up, because they've shared the links to their press coverage. And then also the PR snowball is excellent, because journalists can potentially pick up on one story. Journalists are always on the lookout for stories which are relevant to what they're working on, or for new stories, or for different angles. So they might have read this piece here about the success sequence, but they might have gone, oh my goodness, I love that, but can you give me an alternative version for this publication? So that's how the PR snowball goes. So maximize your PR opportunities, literally share it on LinkedIn or whatever is your preferred platform, and then your audience will read it, they'll congratulate you, and then they'll think, ooh, it's a real credibility booster getting all that press coverage, and I had LinkedIn blew up, and then you just literally rinse and return. Here we go, here's the washing machine. I'm very visual, so just do the whole rinse and return and carry on. Just make it your PR7. It's not going to take you a lot of time, but can you imagine getting some of those logos onto your websites? And when you're pitching clients, when they see that you've been featured in the press, they're going to want to work with you above somebody who hasn't. And I've got that direct experience, because I was looking for a professional to work with, and I had 3 to choose from, and the one person I went to work with was because they had appeared on BBC, and it's like, yes, it actually works. So to recap with this 7-step process, it's all about getting ready, your PR vision and mindset, thinking about your backstory or your golden nugget, getting prepared, your PR toolkit, your photographs, your press kit, and your 200-word email pitch, sorting out your PR plan of action, thinking, okay, these are going to be the key places I'm going to be pitching to, thinking about your PR opportunities, where you're going to be getting them, and then the PR snowball set to roll and roll and grow and grow. And I've got 2 bonus Ps. So perfection and pitch paralysis. So don't be a perfectionist. Persistent pays with your 7 minutes a day. And remember, this is really important to remember, journalists need you. So stop competing on social media and take action. So your PR and visibility actions can take you from invisible to micro celebrity in your industry or on your patch. Who wants a bit of that? So this is what happens. Your 7 minute a day PR method equals a lot of hot leads, okay? And this is what my clients have been doing. This is Julie, this is the one here down below, who had the 22 followers on Twitter, and she ended up, or X, and she ended up now, she's probably had more now, 50. She had 50 press mentions. This lady here got into the press, Miss Manifesta, and she secured a press deal, a book deal as a result, we would say, of her amazing press coverage. So you just do not know where your press coverage is going to take you. So these are some lovely examples of where people have been with their, with their expertise, with their knowledge and know-how. So it's time that you said, yes, I am going to do it. So potential outcomes, it boosts your status, your confidence, your visibility, the all essential KLT, know, like, trust, your credibility, you reach new audiences, you can grow your business and get some sales. But I don't want you to be getting the FOMO of feeling, oh my God, I'm invisible. There's tumbleweed happening right now. I'm not getting recognized. I've got a really restricted audience and I keep on missing out on incredible opportunities and collabs and sales and partnerships. So I've got an invitation to you. I'd love to extend it to you. So if you've liked what you've heard and you've enjoyed the presentation, and if you think you can apply it to your business, all these ideas to your business, then the best way to proceed forward would be to have a PR strategy call with me to see if we are potentially a right fit, and see whether we can help you apply these into your own business, okay? And what I would do is offer you a program which would be the one which would suit you best. And I promise you it will not be a hard sales call, okay? So you need to go to amandapr.com/apply. So book a call with me and I will talk you through what we have on offer and how you can apply all these ideas to your business. I am ready waiting for your phone call, for your booking. Thank you so much. And just remember this, PR equals yes, your expertise skyrockets. So let's connect. And I'd love to speak to you. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching, for listening. I hope you've had some light bulb moments.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for all of that great presentation and some really interesting and useful points there. I love the idea of the press hook, the golden nugget, feeling a little bit more confident and just spending time on your PR. And certainly when we worked with you, we had some great coverage across the BBC, the Times, the Guardian and various other outlets. So I just wanted to open the floor for any particular questions that you might have for Amanda. But I think I've got a question first, which is, we have a lot of trainers, we have a lot of coaches, and getting visibility and standing out from the crowd is sometimes quite tricky.
Yeah.
Other than spending your 7 minutes a day, what else do you think that this particular community can do in order to really be someone, as I said, that stands out from the crowd and gets a little bit more coverage than they normally would?
Yeah, so it'd be great to hear. Actually, they put in the comments what they do. I mean, how much are people doing on video? Okay, so I do like a weekly video show. I only do it like 3 to 5 minutes. People don't have enough time to watch longer than that, so that could be one. But I mean, apart from doing your 7 minutes a day, I would actually say that the 7 minutes a day is probably the most important thing, because if you're not consistently pitching to the press and you just like try it for a week or try one go, it's not going to work. So it's almost like the compound effect. Then you'll get more and more confident in pitching to the press. So people who are watching, before the presentation, were you lacking confidence, and has that helped you? I actually should have asked you at the beginning, where are you 1 to 5? 1 being eek, and 5 being I'm really confident, you know. So let's pretend that we're at the beginning and now it's at the end. Where do you rate now that you know, which would be, oh, 5, brilliant, Philip. And where were you before? I should have asked this at the beginning. So it'd be really interesting to know where you were in terms of your confidence and thinking I can actually go there. Where were you? 2 to 5.
Um,
Yeah, sorry, Amanda.
and you mentioned obviously Twitter and X is the place to go for journalists. So if I'm interested in coverage, for example, in the Times, how do I find journalists from that particular outlet? Is there a trick or something that I need to do on Twitter?
Yeah.
I still can't stop calling it Twitter.
Well, people do, even the media calling it Twitter or X, you know, they keep doing it. So you're not the only one. Yes, so what was the question about? Repeat?
So how do you, if you've got a particular outlet that you want some coverage in, you particularly want, I don't know, the BBC logo or the Times or the Guardian or a specific trade magazine, how do you find those journalists?
Okay, this is my favorite thing, tune in. So what you need to do is, if you want to get onto the local radio, listen to those stations. If you want to get into Psychologies magazine or Red or whatever, or the Times, buy it. Buy it for a week, the Times. Buy it for 2 weeks. And then you'll see that every Saturday, let's say, they have Body and Soul. Who is the journalist who writes for Body and Soul? So they have in-house journalists, that they're called staff, or they also have freelancers. So many journalists are freelancers. So you'll be able to see, you know, the person's name. So you have to be consistent. And when I did a pitch clinic with a journalist a couple of years ago, she said, the publication you want to get into, or the outlet, or the radio show, the podcast, wherever you're pitching, you need to forensically get to know it. So don't just go, oh, I love your podcast, and you haven't really listened to it. You've got to listen to it, because then you'll be able to find your niche and find your gap as to why you are relevant to it. But then you also find the person's name if it's in a newspaper. So let's say in Psychologies, it's Ali Roth, who always writes about mindset. I know that she's actually a staff member, or she might be freelance, but you'll see her name. Then you go and seek her out. Then you go to Instagram. Then you go to LinkedIn. You go to all these amazing social media platforms. So that didn't happen in my mum's day. Oh my God. We literally had to buy the newspaper and phone the magazine house. Now everybody's got a social media footprint going everywhere, so you can find who they are. You can also find what other publications they write for if they're a freelance. That woman might write for Yahoo News. She might be a contributor onto, let's say, Wake Up to Money. You never know where else these people are. Hope that helps.
Yeah, sure. And so would I then take my 200-word pitch and put that in a direct message to that person? Or how would what's the best sort of non-aggressive way to build that relationship?
Exactly. So in the PR7, I talked about, do it for, you know, a week or so, or you could do it for a month if you really want to get onto someone's radar, and just do that, building the trust and getting your name onto their radar. So in, let's say, X, Amanda, you've seen Susie Brown, okay, and she writes about training, you know, or whatever, you know, she writes about work. You'll see it, and then and they always do, most journalists like say, oh, I've just written an article about this. Just look at it, read it, retweet it with your followers, and then you can also reply to her going, love the article because, you know, it really resonated because of this, that, and the other. Because being a journalist, it can often be seen as a thankless task, because they're so busy having to churn out the next and the next and the next. They probably get very little thank yous and recognition. Right. So give them a bit of flattery. It goes a long, long way. But, you know, honest and flattery, which is with integrity. And then you'll be on their radar, and they'll think, gosh, that Amanda has been very helpful. Oh, let me read what her message is. Or you might, you know, befriend her on Twitter, on LinkedIn as well, and then you can send a private message there. So, and then one thing, never ever, and I've done this and it hasn't worked, never ever send a pitch on your introduction. You know, when you do a connection on LinkedIn,
yeah,
say, hi, I'd like to pitch you this. No, don't do that. You do it after, you know, just kind of like build up to that.
Okay, thank you. So has anybody got any final questions for Amanda? We will be posting the recording on our YouTube channel. Amanda, are you happy for us to circulate the slides?
Yeah, sure.
And provide everyone with the link that you've helpfully given us today with the 20-minute consultation call.
Yeah, there you go.
And wonderful, thank you. And just a big thank you for everybody to attend. It's a great honour to have your time, to spend time with the community, looking at different times and parts, and looking at different questions and observations. So I hope you find this session helpful. Please do give us your feedback, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next month on our CPD Standards webinar.
I think if we have few raised hands, I think we have Fiona who is open to have a question.
Thank you very much, Amanda. That was brilliant. You packed so much value into that time. I'm very grateful, and I am going to be watching it back and developing a PR strategy. I just want to ask about that. Did you say 7 minutes a day?
Yes.
I can understand how 7 minutes a day doing something PR related would be really helpful, but I'm thinking about follow-up. If I'm very active on LinkedIn, and just following up on people's responses and engaging with people, I can't imagine. So if we do nothing else in that 7 minutes, what should it be? Because I do think a half an hour might be more. I mean, I put 6 hours a week down, but I know that's being generous.
Yeah.
I think it's probably 5 hours.
PR. I mean, I call it the PR7 because I gave a talk to a whole bunch of directors, and they all said, "Oh, I don't have time. I haven't got." I said, "Can you afford me 30 minutes of your day?" And they go, "No." I said 50. So I was negotiating with them. "Can you afford 15 minutes?" They go, "No." I said, "How about 7?" They said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, well, fine. Let's go for the 7 minutes. But gosh, if you can spare 20 minutes, I mean, ideally 30 minutes. Go for it, Fiona. Do all that, yeah? But it's just literally if you're really time poor and you think, I'm just going to quickly slide into Twitter, X, see if there's a journal call out relevant for me, boom, and I've got it. I've got my pitch saved on my Google Drive, and then I'm just going to grab the copy and send it off, okay? But, you know, it's your time. Do exactly what suits you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Not at all.
Thank you. Do we have any other raised hands or particular questions? Okay, wonderful. So I will bring the session to a close. Thank you again, Amanda. Wonderful to have you. And we look forward to being in touch with all of you and seeing you next month on the next CPD Standards webinar.
May we take a quick picky so I can share it on socials, or is that all?
No, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
That's absolutely fine.
So, okay, if you want to put your thumbs up or raise your hands or something. Yay, how did you think? Yeah, you're all smiling. Thank you so much. I'll put that onto my Instagram or somewhere. But thank you, everybody, for watching. I look forward to speaking with you if you're going to book a call. And otherwise, good luck with your PR7s. Thank you so much, Amanda. It's been
Thank you,
an honour to do the
everybody.
talk for
Thank you then.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.